how do you leave a play party?
There's Cathy Bartulli from the intimacydojo.com.
And Reid from aboutsex.com.
Surprised me. How do you leave a play party?
Yeah, so if you're at a play party and you either get overwhelmed or you're just done being at the play party, how do you politely leave in a way that leaves everybody feeling good?
Well, I mean, I like to tell people say goodbye to somebody so that somebody can say goodbye to you so you feel like you were seen. You could say goodbye to the host if that's important to you, if they're available. I mean, if they're face first in somebody.
And maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things, I'm really shy. So when I was first learning to be social, a good friend of mine was like, show up at the right time. Make sure to thank the host for having the party. And I think this applies to any kind of party. Stay for a while anyway and talk to a couple people anyway, make like some kind of connection. And then when you're leaving, again, unless they're face first in somebody, thank the host, because people do remember that, and a lot of people don't. They just disappear, and there's not really the person went to a lot of trouble to put the party together and invite people, and it takes courage to do that. It takes time to clean the house and put out the condoms and the lube and everything. So I like to make sure to thank them. It also anchors, and I usually like to offer to help. So like she said, like ask them if there's anything you can do before you leave that would leave them feeling more relaxed after the party. Yeah,
I mean, even if as somebody who throws events, whenever there's somebody who takes it upon themselves to help do the dishes or something, or load the dishwasher. Now again, you might have a host that doesn't want you up in their dishwasher, but at least asking, or if it's appropriate, volunteering yourself and doing something without asking. I only say that because I have one friend where I had helped clean up their kitchen, and that was not something they appreciated. So again, it's really like kind of checking in. But I do like the idea of maybe say hi to 3 or 5 people and say goodbye to 3 or 5 people.
So kind of just making yourself known. It's good, like you said, when you're leaving a party, just to let someone know you're leaving, so people know you're not upset.
Well, even if you are upset, like it's okay to be upset at a play party, and it's okay to say goodbye to someone. I know that for me as a host, when I, thought somebody left early or didn't get to say goodbye to them, sometimes I'll worry if everything was okay for them. So when somebody says goodbye to me, and even if they're having feels, at least I get a moment to check in. And I assume it feels good for people who are leaving to have somebody acknowledge that they were there. That they were there. And I like to help clean up. The first few parties I went to at your place, I washed dishes because it made me feel safe, and it gave me a reason to be there. But I also like to I try to leave the campsite better than I found it, the way you talk about. And so I like to find a couple shy people to talk to. And I also like to acknowledge the host or hostess for something. Like I've been to some parties where I was like, what can I acknowledge them about? And like even just the courage to throw a party. Like some that were just not a good fit for me, and I didn't want to stay because it wasn't a good energetic fit for me, what I wanted to create that day. But just acknowledging other people for that, I think leaves people feeling better off. Like I know that sometimes I've had a party and people have left, and I'm like, wow, there's kind of that letdown afterwards, and just kind of leaving it. The play party hangover, or any party hangover. It's just like there were all these cool people here. We were doing these cool things, and now they're all gone. Well, and then there's also like as an extrovert, I don't have this, and even though sometimes I do, is you extended yourself as an introvert, and then you have the social hangover of putting yourself out there, and then you need to recuperate. And I also like to, when I get home, especially if it's someone that I enjoyed and I want to get to know them better, I'll drop them an email and say, hey, thanks so much. I really enjoyed this about it. Love your home, or love, the wine cabinet was amazing, whatever it is. Because the next day, a lot of people, I'm like this. Like, I may feel really good after the party. I'm certain everything went really well. And a little bit later or the next morning, I'm like, what about that? Play party remorse. Yeah. It's like buyer's remorse. Well, or did it go as well as I thought? So getting like just an acknowledgement,
one, like from a purely mercenary kind of way, it's more likely to get you. They're more likely to think of you and invite you back if you've kind of anchored it a little bit.
Sending the thank you card. This is all kind of like Miss Manners.
I don't actually write a card. I don't.
For some people,
that might be fine.
Never underestimate the power of snail mail, my friends.
Oh my God, this guy wrote me a letter and asked me out, and I was like, really, like he took the time to write it out. I was like, wow, okay. So yeah, it stands out in this day and age. So
what do you think?
Yeah,
what are some comments you could generate for us and for everybody else around ideas on how to leave a play party? Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really, like...